What is up, everyone, and welcome back to another stream. I hope you are all well. Game week 6 is finally upon us. I was going to do a stream midweek but couldn't, so we will have a deadline stream instead. I hope you are all well. Let me know any final questions that you have. I just want to check how the new stream layout looks actually when it's live. So just give me a minute while I look at that, but I will get in and start answering all your questions in the build up to game week 6. So here we go. I'm just going to wait for a few more comments, but let me know what you guys think of the new overlay. Very kindly got it made for me. I'm just wondering if the chat is slightly too small, but I can have a look at editing that. Hi everyone, how are we doing? What do we think it looks like? I'm looking a bit pale. I think it's just my light. Perfect. So let's dive into it. I think it looks okay for now. I'm quite happy with the new overlay. Overlay looks great. Thanks, guys. Yeah, let me start. I'll pull my team up on screen and then we will get into it. So anyone doesn't know, I'm feeling a little bit worse for wear this morning, but let's go. Dennis King. So actually, another little feature I've got, which we will do in just a minute, is making things like where there's a lot of similar questions. We can start to just type them out so they're always on screen for you guys to have the question answered straight away for you all. So, any Bamford replacement ideas? Antonio, if you don't have him, is definitely the number one pick for me. If you don't have Antonio, I definitely go with him. The others, I'm not that fussed by, to be honest. Those sort of forward options. If we don't have Antonio, there's a lot of if, buts, and maybes in there. So I would definitely be going Antonio if you can't afford any of them. So Maximin, maybe if you can go up to Vardy's looked quite good recently, so definitely one of the ones I can consider. But Mopai, again, if you have want to save a little bit of money, their next 3 fixtures are quite nice. There aren't any of them that I look and think, oh, that's great. Let me edit the stream settings a little bit. Dennis King, Mopai, or Saint Maximin. I'd probably go St Max because their fixtures for the next 4 are pretty good, and I just think he's probably got the most chance of sustaining his returns. Why have I benched Rafinha? Well, so my thinking behind benching Rafinha was, if I look at it, who do I want to start him over? Yes, I could start him over Dennis, but Leeds, with all their injuries, without Bamford there as well, yes, it makes them more reliant on Rafinha, but it also just means that they're not going to be as good. Newcastle have conceded a lot of chances, particularly away from home. Dennis has looked very good at home. So for me, it made a little bit of sense to just go start Dennis. It is potential to change that, but I changed it yesterday once I had sort of more understanding of it. But why captain Ronaldo over Antonio? So I just think Ronaldo's got the highest chance of getting a return. That's the main thing for me. I think he's the most likely to get a return this week, so it's on him. 2 free transfers. Should I do Rafinha to Sarr or burn the transfer? I wouldn't go burning a transfer. I don't think anyone's team at this point is in a good enough state to go burning transfers, even if it's changing your backup goalkeeper. Callum, thank you for subscribing. So I wouldn't do that. Can you guys let me know if under my stream, is there a button that now says join? So I'm not asking you to join. I have set up memberships, but I don't know if they're working. I just want to know if it's there. So if you could just let me know whether that join button is there, then please do let me know. Because I just want to, as I said, like I can't see from my side. I don't think if it's actually like there and the button is available for you guys to click. So if you could just let me know, that would be great. Either Torres or Rafinha. Swap for Jota, Greenwood, Gray. I wouldn't be bringing in Jota or Greenwood. I probably wouldn't be buying in. No button. Okay, thank you. That'll do. It's not there. Cool. I will fix it at some point. Thank you, guys. Play Foster. Potentially, I don't know who. A lot of you will have that Foster Steele combination. I probably would go Foster if I had those two. It's the same three. It's the same two for a lot of people. I'd probably go Foster. 3 out of Duffy, Trent, Livra, Semedo, James. So Trent, of course. I'd probably go Semedo as well. It depends. If you've got Brighton goalkeeper, I wouldn't double up on their defence this week. So I'd probably go Trent, Semedo, Livramento, or James. Bamford to Jimenez or St. Maximin, or play Ben White instead. The issue with that is we don't know how long Bamford's going to be out for. If Bamford's back next week, then you kind of don't want to be selling him. Like, he then goes into a run of Watford, Southampton, Wolves, Norwich. Now, he's got a little ankle support on, one of those little sleeves, so yeah, it's a tough one. I'd probably be inclined to keep him if you have someone that you can come off your bench. Why would I not be buying Jota? So Firmino is back in training. The main thing for me, Jota is back. Firmino's back in training. I think he'll be fine for this week, but apart from that, I wouldn't necessarily be wanting to bring him in. Should you start Rudiger or Cody? So torn. I'd still probably start Cody there. As great as Chelsea's defence, I think it's about the one fixture you kind of just don't want the Chelsea defender in. I brought one in this week because I had 2 free transfers, and then I will play him. And there's nothing else I wanted to do with my team. So I've used one of my 2 free transfers, and yes, Livo, I will be rolling my second transfer to next week, and then I will be having 2 free transfers next week for when the Chelsea fixture swing happens, and I can go. I'm probably going to go Shaw to Reece James or Alonso, and then I don't know quite what I'll do with the other one. So let me start using my little. Does that work? Oh, it doesn't quite fit. How's that? Whee! How nice is that? Afternoon Nuclear. Hi guys, I've just realised that there are already 200 of you watching, but only 30 likes. So if we could hit that like button, it would be much appreciated. And anyone new, if you could always consider subscribing as well. There will be a little on-stream notification if you do. But yeah, if we could just hit that like button as well, it would be much appreciated. So, Yarang, thank you very much for the super chat. There isn't a comment with it. I don't know if you did it on purpose, but if you just put a comment in the chat now, then I will, of course, answer that. But thank you very much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Bamford replacement other than Antonio. They're all there for you now. Torres to which midfielder would be ideal? Jason, thank you for subscribing. Torres to a midfielder. Torres to which midfielder would be nice? So something I've spoken a lot about is midfielders. Trying to pick them at the moment is an absolute minefield. It's very difficult to go pick them. Short term, I like Everton still. I still think Sarr is okay for the next couple of weeks. But apart from that, where do I see consistent returns? Rafinha, if I knew he was going to play, but I don't know when if he's gonna play. So, Aaron, thank you for subscribing. The midfield options. Let's have a look. Sorry. If we have a look at Fantasy Football Hub's predicted points over the next couple of weeks, that will probably be the best. If we go over the next 4 weeks, for example, we go midfielders. Let's go 8 million. Greenwood, don't love. Jared Bowen, don't love now. Zaha, could be fine. Don't particularly love it. He's probably on pens for them as well. Benrahma, fine. Again, I don't know his minutes. Like, his minutes are probably the lowest here. Barnes, I don't particularly love. Saka, Eddie, thank you. Saka, again, I don't love. Gray, fine, but their upcoming run's not that great. If you have Torres, I know he's got Chelsea, Liverpool, but I don't necessarily see. You could gamble on Zaha, for example, but the issue is a lot of these cheap midfielders have a bad run of fixtures starting now, so bringing them in is a bit tough to call which of them is going to do well. So, you're an Arsenal fan, but it's a no for Saka on FPL. Yeah, I think I agree. Sorry, Sarr in for Rafinha. Again, it depends how good your bench is. If you don't have a strong bench, then I probably wouldn't do it. If you have a strong bench, I probably wouldn't. Yeah, I would probably start him and hope he plays. When am I wildcarding? The plan was to wildcard before game week 8, but for now I am a bit less sure on that, and I will probably. I'm trying to hold my wildcard until probably game week 13, 14. So I haven't decided yet. If I need it sooner, I'll play it. If not, then I'll wait. Rajan, thank you for subscribing. Watching this over Let's Talk FPL, I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. Would I go Torres to Sarr or Jota? I probably wouldn't be buying in Jota this week. I probably wouldn't. I think Jota's fine for this week if you've owned him, but he's got Man City next week, and we've got the return of Firmino, and Jota's been missing chances, which I don't think Firmino would have done. I expect Firmino to come back in and start some of their matches, and it's likely to be Jota that misses out. So I would worry. I wouldn't be bringing in Jota at the moment. Torres, Rudiger, Semedo, Dennis, play 2. I'd probably play Dennis, and Torres versus Rudiger is very difficult, and I don't know which way that game's going to go, so I'd probably play I'd probably play Semedo and Dennis. Is this team confirmed 100%? I'd be surprised if I changed it. The only thing that I could change is if I start Rafinha over Dennis. But I Yeah. I'm pretty happy on this. Let me add a captaincy poll. While I just do that, as always, we are 17 likes away from 100 likes. So let's just, while I create this captaincy poll, if we could, Toshima, Livra, Soko, who do I set up this bench? Probably Livra first. Yes, close. Almost at 100. Let's ask that. And 230 of you watching. Should you captain Salah or Ronaldo this week? You don't trust my decision to go Ronaldo. I mean, it's where I'm going. I'm not changing that, I don't think. Definitely not changing it to Salah. If it changed, it would go to Antonio before it went to Salah. So I will be, I'm sticking with it on Ronaldo. I will be keeping an eye out on any potential early team news that we might get, because there are a couple of early games this weekend. So both Man U, Chelsea, City are all the early kickoff for this game week. Did I bring in Rudiger this week or last week? So I brought him in this week, unfortunately. And I know he has Man City this week, but again, it is short. It is just planning for their fixture run when it comes next week. So I didn't have anything else. I had 2-3 transfers this week, and I just decided to use that with one. Downgrade Trent next week for Lukaku, Ronaldo, Salah team? I don't think so. I don't know. I wouldn't be going selling Trent. I know Trent has a difficult fixture next week, but I definitely wouldn't be going and selling him. So no, I wouldn't be going and doing that. Wait, so you think Salah will blank against Brentford? Are you sure about that? And what's your reasoning? I don't necessarily think he's going to blank, but Brentford are a very good defence. Salah is away from home. I just think they'll win it, 1 or 2-0. I think they're both good options, but I'm on Ronaldo. It's close. Why not Alonso? Because the issue with Alonso is last week he's been very appealing because he took corners for us. He took corners for Chelsea, and he's not going to continue to do that. He took corners because there was no Hudson-Odoi, there was no Reece James, and there was no Mason Mount on the pitch. Then it goes to Alonso or Ziyech. The chances of us lining up with none of those in the team very often is very low. Alonso's very good in the box, which is good, but it means unlikely these are going to keep corners. Do I reckon Reece James starts today? I would imagine so, yeah, but I'm not quite sure. I will get one of Reece James or Marcus Alonso in my team next week, I think. That's the plan. But as soon as this stream ends, I am dressed and ready to go. I will be getting in the car and driving down to Stamford Bridge. Let's see what the captain poll. Raj, thank you very much for the super chat. Sorry, I'm just sneezing. What's my plan for Game Week 7, Game Week 8? So I will have 2 free transfers next week. I will use one of them to go and get my second Chelsea defender in. I don't think Ronaldo to Lukaku is a priority for next week. I think I can wait and do that after that. So my plan at the moment is to do Shaw to a Chelsea defender with 1 free transfer. I could potentially roll the second one. I could sell Greenwood because I don't know how long, depending on what happens in Europe, whether he starts, everything like that. But I think Shaw to a Chelsea defender, and then the following week Ronaldo to Lukaku, and slowly transition to a 4-3-3 by probably downgrading Greenwood and then going and upgrading Ayling into a Man City defender. Now that's the plan if I don't if I don't play my wild card. If I play my wild card, of course, those changes would all happen much quicker. But if I don't play my wild card, then I'll show you sort of what the plan is here. So Shaw will be probably going next week. Ayling will soon follow. Greenwood will also soon follow, and then we'll see exactly what happens. But if we put in Cancelo, between Cancelo and Diaz, it's very difficult. Shaw. Let's put in. What do you got, Rudiger? Reece James. And it leaves me a cheaper midfielder, so I need to just free up a little bit of that money in order to go and do it, so I can go and, you know, get one of these. Go and get Gallagher, for example, and then have it like this, and I'll play a sort of. I know it does. I play probably a 4-4-2 every week with this, and then I can choose which of those 4 cheaper midfielders I play. I can play just 3 of them, so. That's the plan at the moment. Cool, let me end that poll. Start Armstrong or Traore. I don't know which Armstrong that is, but I'd probably go Traore. If it's Armstrong the striker, I'd go the striker. If it's Armstrong the midfielder, then I'd go Traore. Do I play Football Manager? I do not. Start Dennis or Rafinha. So I'm starting Dennis. It's just what I've decided. I've liked Dennis past couple of weeks. It's a close one. Rafinha could easily get something, but I'm going with the Watford guys again. So that's the decision on what I've decided to do. Bring Sarr in for Torres or Rafinha. I'd bring him in for Torres. I think. Why Rudiger not Alonso? So I'll get a second Chelsea defender next week. I could have gone Alonso, but long term I don't know whether he's a viable option. How often he's gonna play. So I've given myself an extra week to make that decision because I know which other Chelsea defender I bring in was always gonna partner Rudiger. Lisa, thank you for subscribing. Bring in Mopai or Dennis. Probably Dennis. Save the money, do something else with it. You have a good time at Chelsea. Thank you. Let's hope for a Chelsea win. Big game for us. Absolutely. I'm sure you are all very aware. Would I start Duffy over Livramento? I think there's a very good chance I can see that Southampton Wolves game being 0-0. So I would probably go Livramento. Do I transfer in a player playing keeper for a -4? Who is your keeper at the moment? Who's your keeper at the moment? Start Cody or Livramento? That's tough. I'd probably go for favour the home team. Livramento or Marçal? Right, this is going in the. It's going in the FA key questions section. Start Livramento over your Wolves defender, in my opinion. Start Foster or Sanchez is another one. I'd probably start Foster. No keepers available to play. Then potentially sell your backup keeper. If you like your first choice keeper, sell your backup one and then just go and get Foster in because he's likely to pay for Watford this week. What's happened? Oh, my camera just. Daniel, thank you. Daniel D'Souza, thank you for subscribing. Rafinha or Traore for Sarr. Who would you sell? I'd probably sell Traore. It depends if you need them this week, of course, but you took a hit this week. Torres to Sarr and Bamford to Vardy. Yeah, quite like those. Vardy's been ticking along the points very well so far this season. So, hi captain, how are we doing? Start White or Livramento? Definitely. Is Ricardo a good short shout this week? I almost went for him. If you watch my videos early this week, he was one of my potential transfers in. I didn't go with him in the end because I want the if I go and get him, I think he's a very good short-term punt, and it would basically force me to wildcard in 2 weeks, which I didn't want to do. I didn't want to be forced into doing it. I am still debating wildcarding game week 8, but I may also save it, which not going for him has given me the opportunity to do. What's the news about Rafinha? So Rafinha news, it seems to be that he has travelled with the Leeds squad to London, their home. Apparently he arrived at the team hotel last night. Now, exactly what that means is quite tough, but I think it probably means he's going to be in the squad, which means he's quite likely to start now. But I just don't know about that Leeds team without Bamford in it. No Bamford, probably no Harrison either. As good as Rafinha is, can they still score as many goals without those attackers in the team? How likely? I'm not making any other transfers this week. I may sub in Rafinha for Dennis, but I'd be surprised if I did that. Lovely team that. Thank you. Just hoping that my boy Rafinha will score a hat-trick today. I hope not. So we're seeing him sat on my bench, but let's see what happens. What transfers did I make this week? So I sold Simicas and I upgraded him to Rudiger. So I had a lot of money in the bank and I used it to do that. So I'm planning on transitioning to a sort of big 4 defender formation over the next couple of weeks. So keep Reguilon. If you've got other stuff to do with your team, I think he's fine. But he's not someone I'd potentially want to be keeping sort of long term in my team. Armstrong, Gallagher for Dennis Saka. I wouldn't want Saka. I would definitely be going Armstrong, Gallagher in my team for sure. Definitely be having those. Is it worth doing a free hit this week? No. It's definitely not. Your free hit needs to be saved for the second half of the season when there are blank game weeks. If you play it early, then your team will struggle when it gets to those weeks. You might do better this week, but no. Would I start Sarr versus Southampton or Foster versus Newcastle? I'd probably go Sarr. The reason for it is Watford's defence hasn't looked that great. So I'd probably back Wolves over it, to be honest. So that's where I'd be going. You have 2 free transfers and don't know what to do. Unfortunately, I can't help without seeing your team. So look at where the weak points in your team are. Would I start Sarr? Or that score prediction for your team's Chelsea game tonight? I think it could be like 0-0, 1-0 to whoever scores first will win the game. It seems to be the case. Gamioli, thank you. Rudiger or Alonso? So if you've still got your wild card intact, I'd probably go Alonso. If you're going to wild card soon, Rudiger is safer, but Alonso does have that attacking threat. And I think Alonso will start today. So I won't wildcard game week 7. I see absolutely no need to wildcard this team for game week 7. Should you bring in Antonio or Lukaku next week? I wouldn't be rushing. Neither of them have actually got that. He's got Brentford at home. I'd probably favour getting in Lukaku next week over him. Should I bring in Marçal for Ben White? I would. If you can go Wolves, I would still be going Semedo. So, yeah, I'd be going Semedo out of the two of them if I could. He's not a bad pick though, but I wouldn't be selling Ben White. Like, he has a tough fixture this week, but from next week, then you still want Ben White. That the Arsenal defence doesn't look bad at all. Sarr for Rafinha or save the transfer? I'd probably just save it. Zach, thank you for subscribing. Marçal looks dreadful. This is the thing. He looks really poor defensively. And a lot of the Wolves fans want Aït-Nouri to be starting back in the team. So I wouldn't be confident on Marçal keeping his place in that Wolves team. So that's why I'd go elsewhere. Any plans to wildcard in Lukaku and Ronaldo in your team at the same time? No. I have no plans to make a 3 premium team. No. I can understand why people want to do it, but I look at it for my own team or for when I play my wildcard, and I think it unbalances my team too much. The drafts I put together are just not good enough when I have to throw all 3 of them in. So, yeah. 1 free transfer, Rafinha out, Sarr in. Issue is if all of Leeds' players are back fit next week, Watford at home, Southampton away, Wolves at home, Norwich away. Like, it's a great run of fixtures. What did Eunice say? I wouldn't be going with Christensen. He'll play some. He'll play like 50% of our games is how confident I am. But yeah, I wouldn't be bringing in Christensen. I'd find the money to do the other moves elsewhere. Will Jimenez score? As I said, I think there's unlikely to be very many goals in that Southampton game. I could be completely wrong, but those teams look much better defensively than they do going forward at the moment. So yeah, at the moment, I am, not going for it. You can't afford Rudiger. Who should I bring in for Simicast if I have 5.5 mil? That's tough. Can you not roll the transfer? If you've got 2 free transfers, find something else to do with it so you can free up some money next week. Because getting those Chelsea defenders in, there isn't a other option to go with. You just need to find a way to get them in. You can't sort of skin out and go for another team. You need to start freeing up some money to go for these more premium defences now. Do I transfer Lukaku in and Ings out? I mean, potentially this week. I mean, Lukaku has City. I suppose Lukaku can get it against anyone. If you've got the money to do it, then yeah, I probably would. Gray or Sarr for this week? It's pretty tough between the two of them. I'd probably go Sarr. I'd probably go Sarr out of the two of them. How many points do I have so far? 392 or something. White or Livramento? Livramento. I'd definitely be starting Livramento this week. I can choose Antonio versus Leeds defence or Vardy versus Burnley defence. I mean, this week, Antonio for me out of the two of them. He's better value as well, so you can save that money and do something else with it next week. Your captain is Antonio. Is that a good shout? There's nothing wrong with captaining Ronaldo, Antonio or Salah. All 3 are good picks. And if you think you have a hunch on one of them, then go for it. All 3 of them are good captaincy options for this week. Do I think it's worth doing a -4 from Bamford to St. Max or from Traore to Benrahma? Who would be coming off your bench, Alan? Traore out is not a bad transfer. So if you've got someone poor on your bench, I would look at doing that one. Antonio or Vardy. Antonio, Foster or Sanchez. It's in the comment section on the right hand side. Should I play Duffy or Semedo? Semedo for me. Any 1 week punts before wildcarding? If we have a look at the fixtures, where do we see a lot of goals? Where do we see goals coming from? I still think West Ham, Everton, Rondon, those front three are probably good 1 week punts this week. It's probably where I'd look. Target Norwich again if you're on a 1 week punt. You're going to go... okay. When am I playing my wild card? So still I don't have a set date. I'll keep rolling it until I feel like my team needs it. Gray or Saar? 1 week. No, I'd probably go Saar still out of the two of them. Do I think Tsimikas will play? No, I don't. I don't think Tsimikas will play. Is it okay to say my team? I mean, you can, yeah. If you're wildcarding, is it worth to take Raf out now and bring him in for game week 8? If you're wildcarding game week 8, then potentially. But I still think he might play today, so... will we have leaks before first games? There's a little bit of talk, sorry, I'm just trying to find it on Twitter about a potential leak for Manchester United. So, Morgan, thank you for subscribing. Mason Greenwood starts for Manchester United, so... Mason Greenwood starts. So, why would I start Foster over Sanchez? Newcastle have looked not great. Favour the home fixture always for a defence. So yeah. Palace have looked very good at home so far this season. It's pretty close between either of them. But it would just be the way that I go. St. Maximin is the way. Keep Raf or sell for Saar. And Foster or Sanchez. It depends who's on your bench. I'd try and keep Rafinha if you can, but I would, if you don't have a strong bench, I wouldn't be against that. Ole hinted about a Cavani-Ronaldo partnership, which is making me drift away from Ronaldo's captaincy option. I just don't know where I've seen it. Ronaldo punt. Rondon punt even. Yeah, I think anyone in that Everton front line is a good punt for this week. Dennis in for Obafemi or Gray in for Bissouma? I'd go Gray. I'd probably go Gray out of them. Or even Conor Gallagher. Is Cavani back? Will Ronaldo play full 90? Ronaldo may not play full 90 because Cavani's meant to be on the bench today. But I still think he can do enough in the time when he's on the pitch. So... United press conference. Bamford to Jimenez, and then Adama to Sarr for -4. If you have to do Bamford to Jimenez, go for it. But I don't like that transfer at all very much. So I would hold off if I can. Is Cavani starting? I doubt it. I don't know. I doubt it. While we just wait for that final bit of news, if we could just like the stream, it would be very much appreciated. We are just 12 likes away from 150 now. You guys the best. You're now leaning towards Salah captain. Salah, Antonio, Ronaldo are all three very good captaincy options for this week. So, your team is Foster, Trent, Shaw, Duffy, Soufal. Don't love Soufal. Salah, Jota, Rafinha, Greenwood, Antonio, and CR7. Your team's fine. I'd put Tony first on your bench before Ayling. But apart from that, I like it. Antonio captain is the only way to push me into 1%. You don't need to be making decisions like that though 6 weeks into the season. A lot can change between now and then. It's 1 point a week which you need to make up. So don't go throwing everything out the window at this stage to try and make up some ground. So best Bamford replacement. As it says on the other side, Antonio, Mopai, St. Max, Dennis. Probably go Antonio first. They're probably in St. Max, probably the second one I go for. Adam Armstrong is another one. Do I think Rafinha will start? Yeah, I want if he'll play 60 minutes again, like he did last week. Best 4.5 or 5 million midfielder. Sissoko, probably. I still think he's got the most attacking threat. He's getting forward, he's attacking. Keep Rafinha or get Sarr for a -4. Keep Rafinha or get Sarr for I wouldn't do that for a -4. No. Transfer plans for the next few weeks. There'll be videos out with it all discussed in. But I do know that I need to go soon because I've got to leave slightly early to go and get to Chelsea. But keep firing your final questions in. And then, should I start with Pepe or Gallagher or Greenwood? I would. Should you start Greenwood? Because apparently he started this morning. Rafinha will play or not? I think he probably will. And I need to do something with Tsimikas. You choose Rudiger. Who do I choose? Jay, you need to... There isn't a cheap defender who is going to be able to match, I don't think, the Chelsea defence over the next few weeks. So, potentially look elsewhere in your team. If it was me and I couldn't have done that, I probably would have gone, Ayling to Livramento in order to free up that money next week. So Ayling to Livramento would free up me enough money to do Rudiger in next week, for example. So, John, thank you. Very kind. White to main or Rudiger? I think that's that White to start or Rudiger. I'd start Rudiger, as I am. Is Lukaku coming in with the next 2-3 any Arsenal assets, City assets? I'm targeting Chelsea next week, particularly in defence. I may have to wait for Lukaku for one more week after that, and then City defence will also be targeted. So my next sort of 4 transfers are another Chelsea defender, Lukaku, and then City defender, and then another transfer to free up the money that I need. So Ayling will not play. I don't know. I doubt he will, but I wouldn't want to play him anyway. That Leeds defence is dreadful. But anyway, I do need to dash. This is what my team is going to look like. I think good luck in game week 6, everyone. I hope you have enjoyed. Good luck, everyone. And I will see you all next week there's a lot planned for videos and stuff. So good luck. And I will see you all next week.